So the more that I think about Draft2Digital announcing that they are planning on charging a $12 maintenance fee to any author who does not make $100 on their platform in a year, the more frustrated I am becoming, because that is just simply not feasible for most indie authors. Especially if you're someone who is not an indie author or not kind of aware of how the whole indie author industry works. Making $100, that's kind of a big deal. A lot of indie authors don't even sell 100 copies of their books, you know. I consider myself lucky that of the 3 books I've published thus far, 2 of them have sold over 100 copies each. But even still, like, I'm not going to meet Draft2Digital's $100 requirement. And this is compounded by 2 things. First, the fact that Draft2Digital isn't really where most books get sold, right? Most of my books are sold either at in-person events or through Amazon. The second thing is that royalties on Draft2Digital are inherently terrible. I sell my ebooks for $3.99 each. Each time I make a sale, I get 40 cents for that sale. So in order to meet that $100 requirement, I would have to sell approximately 250 copies just on Draft2Digital. To date, I've only sold 17 copies through the Draft2Digital platform, so I'm nowhere close to that. And again, I am relatively lucky as far as indie authors go, because even though I write middle grade, which is a little bit of a niche category in terms of, indie publishing, I have sold relatively well, and I'm also not relying on it for my, livelihood, more or less, right? I'm a full-time teacher, so I don't have to stress too much about it. But a lot of indie authors just simply aren't going to be making that much on Draft2Digital's platform. And so while I understand that a lot of publishing platforms like Draft2Digital are probably getting inundated with a lot of AI slop being published on their platform, and that's probably increasing load and all sorts of other issues, because we already don't make that much from our sales due to the very high, cuts that they make, this really feels like they're just trying to fleece indie authors for whatever they're worth.